These qualifiers feel like they've got an extra tinge of garam masala because it's everything on the line here. Now or never, do or die, and the last chance for the Indian teams to qualify from this region onto the VCC playoffs. Let's see who makes it through. Next up, we've got Team Enigma versus Team EXO, and this matchup is going to be one hell of a close one because both of these teams are so well matched, but both of these teams recently had a roster change within each other. Ghost from Enigma Gaming now playing for Team EXO, playing against his old team for a spot in the finals is gonna just add to the pressure. It's gonna be amazing. As you can see on the veto, Global like to ban out Ascent and T69 like to ban out Haven. I think Global's ban especially will definitely continue, while T69 have to make a hard decision. Do you want to play Global on a map like Haven where they are comfortable, or do you want to risk it on Breeze given the fact that Global actually picked it up as map 1? They are very willing to fight on the map of Breeze, very willing to take a vacation to the Caribbean islands. Now if you look at the composition screen, you can see a clear difference in both of the teams' playstyle. Whereas T69 still play the older double duelist meta, Global Esports like to play a lot more with the initiators. You play double initiator on both the maps of Breeze and Haven. So this clear difference in style will definitely affect the gameplay. Global Esports will have a lot more options in their table because of it. Now looking at the first head-to-head, we're looking at both the Jet players. You have SK Rossi on one side and SS Sami on another, and both no doubt equally skilled. But what gives SK Rossi a slight advantage is that his team gives him extra resources because of the double initiators we just looked at, enabling him to then take those fights much more aggressively, much more proactively, wherein SS Sami has to find his own engagements. We'll see if SS Sami is still able to be prolific without those resources that Rossi gets. Next up, we've got Team Enigma versus Team EXO, and this matchup is going to be one hell of a close one because both of these teams are so well matched, but both of these teams recently had a roster change within each other. Ghost from Enigma Gaming now playing for Team EXO, playing against his old team for a spot in the finals is going to just add to the pressure. It's going to be amazing. Now if you look at the map veto screen, what's really interesting for me is that Enigma like to pick up the Icebox ASTP and EXO like to ban out the Icebox altogether, which tells me that EXO is going to hold on to their path and maintain their targeted ban. Now Enigma have consistently banned out Split, and if they do, it would be more of a comfort because even though EXO have picked up Split, I think it is relatively new to them because Ghost does pay the KO on that map and he isn't necessarily fragging the way he would normally would on Jet. So I wonder if Enigma have something prepared for Split, or they just continue on in the comfort zone and ban out Split altogether. Now looking at the composition screen, you see that both teams are very much willing to change up tactically as the map requires, where you see the KO on the side of Team EXO on Split, and then you see that Sage on the side of Enigma on Haven. They both have their intricacies and nuances about the way they like to play it. What's interesting though is who's dedicated. So for Excali, he's always playing the dedicated duelist, and Rawfuel seems to be always playing that dedicated Sage role. I'm excited to see if this is something Rawfuel could potentially change because it might be an issue when it comes to the other maps. Now taking a look at the head-to-head, for me, the discussion between Rawfuel and Excali is very simple. Both of these are the dedicated duelists of their team, therefore both of their responsibilities really come through on their first engagements. They're the players who have to clear out the space, they're the players who have to open up the space when they're on the defense and make sure that they're not being suffocated, and that's where the responsibility lies on their shoulders to make sure they don't mess up a single first engagement, and that's where which team gives the other more resources is really going to come through on which player is able to come out on top. Versus Goliath, teammate versus former team, what we know for sure is the matches are going to give us some प्योर टॉप क्लास एंटरटेनमेंट एकदम मजेदार तरीके से। तो सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, नोटिफिकेशंस ऑन कीजिए क्योंकि you don't want to miss a single second of this action. I'll see you with the semi-finals at 5 PM stat today.